In this next short segment, we're going to talk about some different methods of processing. Methods of processing can be broken down into a couple different key categories. Either dry versus wet processing, in which dry processing includes things just cracking, rolling, grinding. Wet usually involves the application of steam or something like that to it. The second is cold versus hot. Cold, again, is kind of like the dry. It's cracking, rolling, grinding. Hot can include things, in addition to steam flaking, extruding, pelleting, some different things like that, because pelleting can actually be high temperature as well. When we talk about rolling, cracking, or grinding, we're simply compressing grain between corrugated rollers that can be adjusted depending on what particle size you want to achieve on the flip side. You can grind anywhere from coarse to fine. It's less dusty to run it through rollers than to run it through a hammer mill, which we'll talk about here in a minute. However, you cannot roll or crack forages very easily. A hammer mill is the best bet for them. The pictures are actually examples of small roller mills that are actually used in the brewing industry, but they demonstrate really well, as you can see, some of the corrugated rollers right here, and how the grain would feed through them is to roll through them and allowing it to reduce that particle size. When we actually grind forages, a second option in addition to the rollers work really well for cereal grains. However, if we're going to do forages, we need to probably run it through a hammer mill. This is a very dusty process. You do waste more feed running it through a hammer mill. But what we have in a hammer mill are these rotating metal hammers that literally pound or pulverize a feed, forcing it through a screen that's of a set size to get to the desired particle size. But like I mentioned, it is extremely dusty and a little bit wasteful in terms of, if you have more dust, that is wasting some of the feed. When we talk about steam flaking or rolling, it's the same process as rolling. We're going to ultimately be running it through those corrugated rollers as we talked about in a roller mill. However, hot steam is actually being applied to the feed first, and then it's rolled to that desired width. For steam rolled, it's a shorter duration steaming. For steam flaked, it's a longer duration steaming. Steam flaking came about in the 70s through some of the feedlots. Actually, a lot of the preliminary research was done in Colorado, at Colorado State, by Professor John Matsushima, who I had a chance to meet when I was teaching at Colorado State. But steam flaking can actually improve the starch availability and the feeding value of cereal grains, including corn, which is the most common one, by 12 to 15% in ruminants. So large feedlots will actually spend the time and money investing in a steam flaking mill. Pelleting is a process in which we are actually going to heat the feed, mix it up, grind it all up, and force it through these metal dies, such as right here, to get to a certain particle size to chop it off. We have a short video that kind of shows the essence of pelleting. We'll kind of walk through that real quick.
Hello, my name is Joe Gardner. I'm the mill manager here at J.S. West in Modesto. And I'm going to show you today how we make feed. We make a variety of different feed for a variety of different kind of animals and a different variety of customers. Anywhere from your local 4-H and FFA kids that show livestock at your local county fair, or large farmers who have thousands of chickens. Now, we're going to go back and we'll show you step by step how we get to this point to put feed in the sack. Back here, we're going to go through a quick process of what it takes to make feed. We receive in truckloads of ingredients at a time, such as corn and soybean meal, and we can store it up into the bins that you see behind me. We can store up to 100 tons in each one of these bins. We then auger the ingredients inside where they're ground and mixed to the customer specifications. And now we'll go inside and see what it takes to make a pellet. Alright, we're back here by our pellet mill. We brought in ingredients from outside, we ground them, we mixed them together, and now we they go through a conditioner chamber right above me. We heat it up to 170 to 190 degrees. Then it falls down here, and this presses out to make pellets. The pellets fall down below, and we'll go look at the coolers next. Okay, we're down here in the cooler pit underneath our pellet mill. We've made the pellets, they fall into these coolers, and we have big fans that draw the heat out of the pellets so they stay together. And down from here, they go either into our sack off where we make sacks like you see in the store, or they can go in a big bulk truck and go out to anybody's ranch that we're selling feed to. Hi, we just came from our cooler pit where we cooled our feed after making it, and now we're going to put it in our feed bag. We're going to put the feed in here, and I'm going to put a label on it so the right feed gets to the right animals. This is how we make feed here at JS West. Thanks for watching.
That just gives you a rough idea of the feed mixing process. Another process that we can do, and this is how a lot of pet foods are made, is through the extrusion process. And that is actually where the feed is ground and heated like you do for pelleting, and then it's ran through this big, long, tapered head screw that we see right here, and it creates this ribbon-like product that can be cut to size, such as dog food kibble is an example of an extruded product. Sometimes horse feeds, especially for the geriatric horses, can be extruded as well.